In the front row, they do not want Webster hitting against Plum. That's a bad matchup, so they avoid it.
Here is Bailey Webster. Dug up by Jacob, and they'll go out to Bergsma, and it's blocked by Bell.
Kat Bell working hard to get that lateral motion, getting Texas up to their 9th block of this match.
9-1, the blocking advantage for Texas. Good defense in the back. Free ball, Oregon. Plum out to Bergsma. Could only tip it into the block. They'll try Brenner this time, and the back door works.
Well, I like what Bergsma did to keep the ball alive, just tapping it into the block, and then Brenner using nice vision. There was about 4 feet of space on the line for her to tap.
Long way to run, but McCage got there. Point Texas.
And she has 4 kills in 5 swings, hitting a cool 800. Every single player on this team contributing to a hitting percentage that is easily about 120 points higher than their season average.
Brenner out of the back off the tape, pancaked up by Allison, and they can't bring it back over. Point Oregon.
One of the things I think you got to say if you're the Oregon coach more is, look, we might be down 2 sets, but we wanted to win this tournament. We've already won 5 matches. We are so much closer to winning this than we were at the start of the tournament 3 weeks ago. We're still only 3 sets away.
Yes.
Just win these 25 points, grind it out, put a little doubt in Texas's mind.
Not only to keep the night going, but to put that uh-oh moment into the heads of the Texas players. As volleyball fans know, Texas has been here before, 1 set away from a championship, and they lost it.
And the year before, they were 1 set away from winning to get to the final and lost it against a quality Stanford team.
Jared Elliott, the head coach, called it a big old gorilla on our backs, and there's only one way to get rid of them.
They got to reframe it, though. They can't be thinking we're down 2. It's, hey, we are just as close as ever to winning this tournament that we want so much.
Chelsea Ashen on to serve for Oregon. Eckerman with a big swing.
And Eckerman touches about 10-3. She's going over Lauren Plum. So if you have Bailey Webster at 11 feet, she's really going to go over Lauren Plum. But you can see Texas definitely targeting the blocker. And Lauren Plum's not a bad blocker. It's just that she's 5'9" and can't get up high enough to be effective.
Williams gets the kill, sliding behind. Point Oregon. You're talking about a very athletic Texas team that is getting their whole hand and wrist above the rim, if you will, on swings like that. And for Oregon, they've got to counter with speed. And right there, it's Kat Bell waiting at the net.
And there's a choice for Lauren Plum, who went to a hitter who wasn't very prepared to swing in Williams, and she had Bergsma behind, but she also knows that Bergsma's really been struggling this match. 6 kills, but 7 errors, still hitting minus.
Williams. Double contact called on Oregon. Point Texas.
Texas continues to put the pressure on from the service line. We saw Haley Eckerman with a couple of big swings from that line late in the second, and now Shadir McNeil putting Oregon in more trouble.
Allison looks to Eckerman. Down the line this time as the block was leaning in.
Boy, does she see the block well on this play. Watch, there's going to be some space around the right side blocker, but the defender in the backcourt has to stay there. If they're going to leave some lines, somebody has to cover it. Neither the front court nor the back was ready for that shot.
Eckerman's hitting 444. Webster's hitting 600. And Bergsma continues to hit negative.
And those are those errors that Coach Moore was talking about. Got to keep the errors down. Can't give Texas freebies. That's exactly what they're doing now, down 8-4 in what could be the last set of the season.
And they've scored 4 in a row. The bump out to Brenner, well off the net. Ackerman dug up by the libero, back to Brenner, and gets the kill, even though she was drifting left, able to get a good swing on it.
You're right, Beth. That set went a little wide, but she made a nice correction. The one thing about running it that fast, it's a little more high risk. It's harder to locate the ball. Watch how she's going to drift left on this swing. We'll take a look at it in a minute. There it is. She's flying outside, and the block can never get there.
Brenner now with 9 kills. That ties Fisher for the team high tonight. Haley Jacob, the senior out of League City, Texas. One of the best athletes on the Oregon campus, with some of the testing that they do for all of their student athletes. As Texas gets the point.
Well, if you're Texas, you want to just keep going to Eckerman, keep going to Bailey. Eckerman, 10 kills, hitting 450. Webster hitting 613 kills. They're just golden on the left side. You keep running that play to death.
And still just 3 errors the entire match. Brenner now in the double digits. She's got 10 points.
And if you're Oregon, you've got to control the serves of Texas better, run your offense fast, keep the errors down. And they've talked about it all season long. They play for each other like never before. Now is the time to rely on that teamwork.
Point Texas on another service error. And you can see the frustration for Jim Moore. That's number 6 that they are giving to the Longhorns. Plum looking to Bergsma. Got it. Palmer to Allison. Here comes Webster. Fingertips slowed it down. Back to Bergsma. Tried to cut it. Good change of direction by Jacob. And Bergsma finds the floor.
That's a better swing by Bergsma. That was actually a little, because it didn't come from Lauren Plum, it was a little slower. She looked like she got a better attack, a better approach on that.
Webster slowed down again by Finley.
Finley on the outside instead of the middle, but then Webster makes the right choice and hits it inside the smaller blocker, Kat Fisher. Here's the first swing, goes into the middle blocker who is playing on the right side of the court. Unusual, they're trying to set up a better block, but then the better choice is right over and around that smaller blocker, Kat Fisher, who's 5'10". And does not touch anywhere near 11 feet.
The junior from Baltimore, who was described as both analytical and instinctual by her coach. A rarity to have those 2 words together. Usually you're one or the other. As Fisher tips it into the block and out.
I think if you're Texas, you want to just put the pedal on. They already have the keys. Get it into overdrive here. You don't want to let this team hang around. This is a very good Oregon team. They're still getting outplayed, and they got to be happy only down 2 points at this point.
Must win in the 3rd set for Oregon, or Texas is your national champion.
Coach Elliott
Longhorns thought that was down.
Yep.
Oregon keeping it alive. Chance for the Longhorns. Allison looking for McNeil. Got it. That's a point that Jarrett Elliott thought they should have had long ago.
He thought that this ball hit the floor. That looked like it was about half floor and half hand. And that, if that's the case, it's Point Texas. Because a little floor is all floor.
Plum looking to Fisher, and that's sent right back by McCage, the freshman and the top recruit in the country coming out of high school.
Yep, you could see Lauren Plum setting that ball is outside of the 3-meter line. That's not where Oregon wants to run its offense from. So it's really hard to run it fast when she's way off the net. And here's another trouble pass. The serving of Texas is putting Oregon in big trouble, forcing another timeout.
The ace for Kat Brooks. Texas inching closer and closer to the national championship. A 2-0 lead for Texas. Half a set away from winning a national championship. Oregon trying to deny them. Well, Monday Night Football coming your way this week with Tennessee taking on the New York Jets. At 6:30, it's Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Then at 8:30, it's the AFC matchup between the Jets and Titans. Monday Night Football starting at 6:30 Eastern. Haley and Bailey doing their thing as Eckerman leads the charge.
And they're not fooling anybody. They're just going to fling it up high and let Eckerman go up and over, and she has done that better in this tournament tonight than I've seen this whole season. How well she's hitting high and deep. No touches, no touches from the Oregon block. 10 kills out of 20 swings, hitting .450, and Texas finally with a second service error, so now they have a total of only 5 errors versus 25 for Oregon. That is a tough way to go about winning a national championship.
That's your story right here tonight, along with the big advantage in blocking that has had a lot to do with that. Off the block and out that time. Point Oregon.
And if you're not going to block, you got to defend. Kat Fisher that time with a nice dig, creating the scoring opportunity. Oregon's not known as a great blocking team anyway, so this is a bad matchup for them. The way they can make up for it is with better defense. We've seen some spectacular defense from their libero, Jacobs, but they're just not getting the blocks.
Eckerman tried to tip it off the block for a touch, but doesn't get it. Point Oregon. And now it's Jared Elliott who wants the timeout, and he'll get into the ear of the official. A 2-point Texas lead, a 2-set Texas lead. Haley Eckerman and the Longhorns having their way thus far.